we're thinking primarily about the impact on hiring of faculty, not their personal circumstances, because most of us will return to being faculty members. So the real question is, what happens to faculty? Now, there are about 500 people in the UC system who are currently affected by this cap on the pension calculation. And overwhelmingly, they're composed of ordinary faculty members, not of administrators. And on this campus, there are, of course, faculty members disproportionately at the law school, the business school, and in the economics department, because those are the units that pay higher faculty salaries. Now, all of you who are law students, when you graduate, you will expect to be paid competitively. You will expect a compensation package. You will expect a compensation package that reflects the market. Now, about 90% of our students interview on campus with large law firms, and about 75% of you will probably end up, if history holds true, 75% or more will end up at large law firms. And when you go to those large firms, you will expect to be paid competitively.
Damn right.
For those of you who decide to go into public interest work or into government work, you will expect to be paid competitively for the type of work you have chosen. For those of you who go into those law firms, your starting salaries will be approximately the equivalent of law school faculty salaries at the time of tenure. So with 0 years of experience as lawyers, you will be making as much money as the faculty who've just received tenure, who have taught you. We don't begrudge you those extraordinarily high salaries. We expect that you'll be paid competitively, just like we as faculty members would like to be paid competitively. There are a lot of cuts that are being imposed on all faculty, including faculty who are serving as administrators. There have been pay freezes, and there have been tuition increases.
Yeah.
There have been very substantial tuition increases, largely to offset state cuts. Now, if we had frozen tuition at, say, the level of 3 years ago, when tuition was about $28,000 as opposed to the $4,000. If we had frozen tuition then, we're charging that amount today. Well, let me put it this way. There is no top 25 law school with a tuition of $28,000. There are 2 top 25 law schools, top 25 law schools, with tuitions under $40,000, Texas and Minnesota. If tuition in Bolt today were $28,000, we would be in the lowest 1/3 of tuition among the top 60 law schools. So the decision to try to provide a competitive education was also a decision that we would have to increase tuition and that we would have to pay competitive salaries to faculty and to staff. If you didn't want to come to a law school that was going to try to provide a top 25 education, well, you made a mistake. Because our commitment has been to provide that and to provide that on into the future. So here is my challenge. My challenge is that every year, when we try to hire faculty, those faculty expect that I will offer them salaries that are comparable to the salaries that are being offered by other top law schools in the country. I think those are the kinds of faculty members that you want us to hire. Yes.
You understand?
If we had kept tuition at what it was 3 years ago, and had not been able to gain that added revenue, we would not have been able to hire the last 15 faculty we added to this school. 15 faculty who are here teaching today, we could not have afforded to hire without raising their tuition. Now, on the other hand, financial aid has also increased.
No.
Over the last few years, our financial aid budget has increased from 6.7 million to 7.6 million to 10 million to 12 million this year. And it will go up again next year. The regents require that 33% of the professional degree fee be reinvested in financial aid. At Bolt, our policy over the last several years has been to invest between 42 and 45% of the professional degree fee into financial aid. Because we think that part of our mission is to have a loan forgiveness program that allows you freedom of career choice when you graduate, so that you can afford to choose those public interest jobs, if that's your choice.
Boo.
If that's your choice.
Boo.
And we believe that it should be your choice. But we also believe that there is no point in turning Bolt into a mediocre law school. There are a lot of those already. And we do not believe that any of you, no matter how cynical, would have chosen to come here if the education were not as great as it is.
Talk about your pension.
So I want to, pension is part of compensation. Now, $245,000 cap, let me just close on this. $245,000 cap, listen, I would love to have a pension of $245,000 a year. I would love it. In order to get it,
we would like janitors.
In order to get it, I will have to work until I'm 91 years old and then retire.
We support you.
As much as I love being your dean.
Yes, you do.
No, not 91. Not 91. So, I just want you to bear in mind that my first commitment is not to be popular. It's not to avoid hectoring by the San Francisco Chronicle or blogs. It's to try to do what I can to make sure that Bolt is at least as good in the future as it is today. That's all I'm trying to do. And those of you who support that effort, thank you. Thank you for your support.
Save our Dean! Save our Dean! Save our Dean!
All heard it from the Dean himself. Actually, let me tell you a personal story. I'm going to tell you the story of why I donated my fee hikes and my financial aid to Bolt Hall. Back in 2007, whenever the UC Regents approved a 3-year fee hike, nobody told the students anything about it. At that time, I hadn't even applied yet, so you'd think that they would have sent something out with... Oh, the mic's not on. Oh, I'm sorry. Not much of a public speaker. So back in 2007, whenever the Regents approved a 3-year fee hike increase for Bolt Hall, nobody told the students anything about it. I hadn't even applied yet. And you'd think they would have sent that out with admission materials or something like that, but they didn't. And you know why they didn't? Because they knew I probably wouldn't come here. Because it would have been more expensive than other schools. But I'm glad that they didn't tell me that, because now I can sit here in this bastion of excellence, and I know I know that what I pay is going to keep this school in the top 25. It used to be the top 15, but now it's the top 25, and I'm sticking to that story. Likewise, whenever you consider the state of operational excellence that the campus is currently undergoing, you can imagine that the best, the brightest faculty from all over the country, well, they're probably not going to want to come here if they know that they have to take out their own trash, or that somebody might take the phone line out of their office next week. You know, I won't come here either, especially if the salaries are just competitive. But what they're going to come here for is because Dean Edley's vision for the future. Let me go into that a little bit. Dean Edley is the foremost advocate of online distance education. And as a professional academic, he is well suited to make that case. He's one of the few professional academics that is willing to go to the bat for the future. The second thing I would just have you all take note of, the Dean created this, and he created a new corridor. I don't know if anybody's been on the first floor recently, but I cannot imagine Bolt Hall without a corridor. On that note, I'm pleased to introduce a representative from Apollo Group. I believe they're Senior Vice President for Financial. Senior Vice President for Financial Investment, something like that. Apollo is one of the largest for-profit